Good morning, everybody. Where do I begin today? We're going to have to wait for football. This is some other really important stuff there. You all should know about or heard about the Hegseth calling 800 generals to Quantico, Virginia to give them some sort of pep talk, it said. Well, first of all, they're not prepared for it. Quantico isn't. There's a lot of questions going on and everything like that. A lot of press coverage going on. People saying they don't have an idea what's going on. It's stupid. But one guy came up and said. One guy I listened to a lot. I don't think I ever know his name. He's coming from Occupy Democrats, but that's just a group of people. He's one in the group. Anyhow, he was saying, he had somebody on, and he said, too, that the terrifying thing about it is that next time he'll be able to do it quicker, without notification, and without the world getting excited. He's committing a very dangerous act, they're also saying, because any crazy guy, crazy country out there could make a move, and there's no command structure available to react to it, which is, stupid. But the possibility exists that this is just Hegseth's attitude, ego. He wants to be able to see this. He wants to see these soldiers come to him when he snaps his fingers. This time they might all come. Next time they may not all come. We have to. That's down the road with that thing. But Hegseth has lost his mind completely, and Trump is feeding him. I don't know whether he's giving him a lot of Sambuca to drink or what, but he's just absolutely ridiculous. Some of the stuff they're pulling now, I'm not sure that the way they're doing it, Hitler would have done it the same way. It's absolutely stupid. I can't. Oh well. Next up on my list, the president of Colombia, who I'm not fond of, by the way, actually did something that I agree with 100%. While talking at the UN, he said American soldiers shouldn't obey Trump's orders. And in a lot of respects, they don't have to. They amended the Uniform Code of Justice, I think, after the Vietnam War or some point in time where you don't have to, a soldier can either sue or doesn't have to obey a illegal order. Now, the order has to be illegal. And because the general says that it's not legal, you have to be able to, so that they can disobey the orders of Donald Trump, who doesn't have a clue what the military is like. Chicken shit had bone spurs twice, got deferred. He's one of the real public people that bought his way out of the draft. I got out of the draft by joining the National Guard. I spent 6 years doing weekends and 2 weeks a year at camp, and was on the verge of being federalized when I was discharged. They didn't want me in there because I don't agree with them. I didn't agree with the war, and I was very public about not agreeing with the war because it was a war we couldn't win. It was a war that should have been over years before that, But you go in this day and age, you go in with ground troops that are not trained in jungle warfare and put them up against a guerrilla a guerrilla army that's supplied by their neighbors, and your supplies have to make it 6,000 miles and then go through enemy territory to get to you, it's pretty obvious you're not going to win this war. All right? Could carpet bomb the whole country and only kill 15 or 20 enemy soldiers, you know? That's just the way that country was. It's a jungle. All right, what is next on my list? Well, Sinclair, I don't know what they call it, Sinclair Media, they had barred Jimmy Kimmel from coming back on, but now they're bringing Jimmy back on too, so, you know, and Jimmy is, I don't know what that means, but anyhow. But Jimmy is very happy with Donald Trump because his ratings are going through the roof. He's giving him a lot of free publicity. He doesn't understand that, you know, you let these people get out there and say stuff like that, it hurts him because he's a moron. Donald's a moron, and he keeps showing it over and over and over and over again, and I don't know what's going to happen there. But I do know that the guy sitting next to him, the two people sitting next to him, Hegseth and Vance, is always around the corner someplace, got his nose up his ass or something like that. They're not what you want. You know, there's just going to have to be some sort of, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm more convinced than ever that Trump doesn't make it through, either health-wise or something else goes wrong or the country wises up. But I don't think he makes it to 4 years. Okay? But you can see that he is now prepared to use the military to occupy this country and to do away with the 2026 elections. So we'll just have to sit back, and if you sit back and wait for that to happen, it's going to happen, and it's going to be too late to do anything. You know? That's just sad, don't you think? Man's supposed to be smart, but he's not. Okay. I'm almost done. That's early. So now we can go over to football. We'll go over to football. Let's see how we do this. I don't do point spreads. I don't even know what they are. I don't want to. I never did that. I just pick winners or losers. See what happens. Okay. We have an early game tomorrow, 9:30 in the morning, which I definitely will not watch because I'm not walking Lucy around that time, and I've got other things to do with my time besides watch the Steelers and the Vikings. I'm going with the Vikings. Falcons Commanders, I'm going with the Commanders. That's a 12 o'clock game tomorrow. Giants Chargers, sorry Giants, even Jason Darts can't win with that team and that coaching staff. I'm going with the Chargers. Titans Texans obviously. I think they're going to start making a move to be the better team. Now this game is based purely upon prejudicial views, okay? I don't like the Eagles. So I'm taking the Buccaneers in that game. Now, if you're smart, you probably go the other way in that game, all right? Patriots, Panthers. Patriots should be able to pull that off. You know, let's see. Oh, they consider the Thursday night game to be the first game of the week. All right, well, we'll see what happens as I go along. Focus Commanders, Giants, Chargers, Texas, Buccaneers, Eagles, Patriots, Bills, Saints, Bills. They're just a really, really good team. Lions, Browns. I'm going to go with the Browns. They have a really outstanding defense, and as good as the Lions have been playing lately, and as much as I like the Detroit Lions, I just don't. I just kind of go with the Browns. I'm probably wrong, but that's me. 49ers, Jaguars, 49ers, Rams, Colts. Let's see if Daniel Jones can keep it up. An ex-Giant quarterback. We're going to take the Colts in that game. That's going to be more about the Colts defense than it is about Daniel Jones. Raiders, Bears. The Bears are pretty bad, so I'm going to go with the Raiders to see what happens there. Chiefs, Ravens. Well, I'm taking the Chiefs, but that's going to be a tough game. They're going to have to do something different. I don't know what they're going to do. Cowboys, Packers. I don't think the Cowboys have it anymore, so we're going with the Pack. Dolphins, Jets. That's always a classic game. Tug looked horrible, but the Jets don't have anything, so we'll go with the Dolphins. And the Broncos and the Bengals. Bengals minus the quarterback. I'm going with the Broncos. That's it, right? That's the Monday night game. You got 2 games Monday night. Wow, how about that? Okay, that's the football part of the day. All right? I know you're all excited about that. Couldn't wait for that to happen. Huh? There's a lot of articles coming up how dangerous this thing Hegseth is doing really is for the country, and I agree. But he doesn't care. He's a lot of that's Trump's ego, and he'll do whatever Trump tells him to do. He'll dance naked on the White House lawn if Trump tells him to. He doesn't care. Oh, sorry, one thing. There's a lot of this anti-police videos on YouTube now, but they're just stupid videos. All about HOA. Everybody's thinking, a lot of people are starting to come out with articles about this being a mass firing for the generals, and I don't think so. That would be absolutely stupid because he doesn't have the people he wants to be able to put in there. Some guys, that stupid story there. And they're still talking about the Epstein connection. Let me tell you something. He's on the list. He's in the list. He did those things. Okay? Nothing's going to happen. They had him as a harasser of women back in the day when he was running, and they weren't able to do anything then. So what do you think is going to happen now? Nothing. Okay? So let that go. If Congress wants to do something about it, fine. But I doubt they will, because a lot of them are on the list. So, it's amazing. You got these young guys coming up with these stories on Occupy Democrats or something like some of the other stories, and they're not provable. They're young people's. They're not even opinions. They're saying stories like they happened. It's like this one guy does the big headlines on Occupy Democrats, and he'll have a 5-minute story going with that. Going with he has a headline story. 5 minutes, 2.5 minutes into this 5-minute video, you get what the story's supposed to be, and you find out it's anticlimactic. It's not not anything near what the headline's threatening or anything like that. So he got his 25 cents for every one of you idiots that went and looked at it, including me. Okay, you get all these people coming out here. This one young kid, Luke Beasley, headline: Shocking Kimmel News crushes Trump. No, it's not shocking. It's been in the regular news already. You're a little immature to be doing that, but hey, I'm not going to knock him for coming out with the story. But I again, you go through the stories on YouTube and some of the other websites, and you see people are still talking about Epstein. Epstein is dead. Okay? Did he commit crimes? Yes. Are there other people involved in those crimes? Yes. Are they politicians? More than likely. Is President Trump involved in some things with Epstein that are shaky or actually immoral or maybe even highly illegal? Of course he is. But nothing's going to happen to him. You're not going to get him removed from office over that. You want to get him removed from office? Have the men in the white coats follow him around, Okay, listen, it's Saturday. I won't be around tomorrow. It's football Sunday. Starts at 9:30 in the morning for those of you that have the balls to get up that early on Sunday and miss church and face the wrath of God, to watch a football game instead. I used to have a friend of mine, priest. I used to when I did go to church, I'd go to church and he'd do the afternoon mass, the late afternoon mass, He'd start it at halftime and he'd be done before half, and he'd be over by the end of halftime. And if you were, you'd miss it. If you lived close to the church, you'd miss 2 minutes of the game. He's a huge football fan. He looked like he weighed about 290 or something like that. Huge guy. Nice guy. Had a problem with alcohol. This is back before they decided that, the priest could be corrupt. All right, listen, I'm sorry I took so long, but you know what's next, right? Subscribe, and I will see you on Monday. Have a great Sunday, folks. Enjoy the games, all right? And I'll talk to you Monday.